All right, guys, so we have two last sections in this chapter that we're going to cover. My goal is to kind of get those sections covered this week so that we can test you, quiz you, whatever you want to call it, over just these two sections before break and be done with this chapter and start fresh when we come back from break. Okay, that's the hope. So we are going to look at filling out tax forms today. We're going to do the 1040A and the 1040 Easy today. Then we'll look at like the longer 1040 form that you fill out for taxes, probably like Wednesday or Thursday of this week. Fair enough? Fair enough. Okay. So what we're looking at first, filling out form 1040 Easy. We're going to do that one first. And I'm going to be kind of jumping back and forth between different things up on the board up here. But there's three basic IRS, Internal Revenue Service, tax forms. Okay. You have the shorter forms, which are the 1040 Easy and 1040A, which we're going to go over. And then 1040, no abbreviations after it. That's the long form. That's like when you're itemizing things and filling out lots and lots of dots and lots of different stuff. Me personally, when I fill out taxes, I do the 1040 because I itemize a lot of things. For you guys, as you're filling out tax forms, as you're younger, you're going to be doing probably the 1040 Easy. Okay? On all of these forms, the IRS allows the taxpayer to round monetary entries to the nearest dollar. Okay, so that way we don't have to worry about messing with change throughout this whole thing. So we'll just round to the nearest dollar all the way through, and that makes it a lot faster. Okay? All right. On any tax form, you must fill out your name, address, social security number, and your filing status. Depending on the form, you must also supply information about family members that you support financially. Okay, so first of all, we need to know what a dependent is. That is a person reported on a taxpayer's income tax form that a taxpayer supports financially. So what would be an example of a dependent? I heard a whole lot at one time. What'd you say, Marissa? The kids. Yeah, that's your most common is your kids. Kids are your dependents because you have to pay to take care of them. Who else would be a dependent? Your spouse. Your spouse? What else? Yeah, maybe you're like a caregiver for somebody who's elderly who can't take care of themselves. Yeah. Yep, foster children. Do what? Animals do not count. All right, but any person that you support financially, that they're not claiming themselves, okay, that you're claiming on your taxes. I know we've had that conversation. Some of you are like, wait, my mom claimed me. Yeah, it kind of messes you up in your taxes. You don't get money back then. And then exemption is information included on tax forms that lowers your taxes. Exemptions include dependents as well as the taxpayer. You yourself are considered like a dependent of yourself, right? Because you financially support yourself. Okay, and you'll see as we go through the different tax forms today, you'll see that you get to like deduct money off of your taxes for yourself, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Hey guys, let's get through this, all right? All right, are we ready? Right now. Sorry. Am I good now? Somebody gonna yell at me? Yes, you're gonna yell at me? All right, so we're gonna look at the 1040 Easy first. It's important to select the correct short form based on the requirements, okay? There are certain requirements if you can use certain tax forms to file your taxes, okay? So you can get online, you can download all the different forms. They come in like little booklets. I've given you guys like snippets of them, the actual like fill out the form part that we'll go over today. But if you want to use the 1040 Easy, which is where most of you will probably fall, your filing status must be single or married filing jointly only. Okay, so if you're married but you're filing separately, you could not use this form. You have no dependents other than yourself and your spouse. So if you have kids, you cannot use this form. Your taxable income must be less than $100,000. So if you make more than $100,000, either you yourself or you and your spouse combined, then you can't use this form. Your income is only from wages, salaries, tips, taxable scholarships, fellowship grants, unemployment compensation, or Alaska Permanent Fund dividends. I'm not sure what that is, but that shows up on things. I don't know what that is. Yeah. If you get like a scholarship to go to college, sometimes they're taxable, sometimes they're not. So it depends on what type of scholarship that you got. And your taxable interest is not over $1,500. So where do you earn interest at? What? The bank. If you have money in the bank and then you get a form from the bank saying how much money that you earned in interest, you know, me when I get mine, I'm like, hey, you earned 3 cents. Like, I don't ever go over that, but yeah. They do. They tax everything. All right. So here we go. Avery's employer withheld $21,639.90 in federal income tax. After completing her return, so we're assuming she already did all the work, right, Avery? You did all the work already, right? Yeah, sure. All right. She has determined that her tax is $23,984.32. Will Avery get a refund, or does she owe the IRS, and how much? So if her employer withheld $21,000, and she did her tax forms and figured out her tax should be $23,000, she doesn't get any money back, right? She owes. How do we figure out how much she owes? Yeah, it's just subtract them. All right, so all we have to do is subtract. So yeah, this is the easy math. $23,984.32. We're going to subtract $21,639.90. There we go. $2,344.42 she owes. Once we start doing the tax forms, we will. All right, questions there? Figuring out how much she owes. Her employer did not withhold enough. Okay. It is not their fault because when you get a job, you have to fill out different tax forms when you like take on a new job, and they ask like how much, like you get to dictate how much is withheld every paycheck. Yeah, so sometimes some people will purposely not have them withhold much because they don't want the IRS to hold on to their money and use their money, whatever. Other people make sure they take out extra so they don't owe at the end, and they like to get the big refund. So it just depends on what you want to do. Number 2, Anthony is an architect who also works as a part-time, wow, I typed that wrong, also works part-time as a zookeeper. Information from his tax worksheet is wages from the architect job, wages from his zookeeper job, interest, and dividends. What is his total gross income? I would just add it all together. Yep, because he's getting income from 2 jobs, interest from his bank, and what's dividends from? Stocks. Okay, so we just need to add them all up. I got something different. That's what I got. Yeah. You will eventually today. Yeah. I would tell you on the next problem. All right. So are we okay here? Gross income is just everything you've made from your jobs, your bank interest, your dividends from your stocks, all that stuff. That accounts for your gross income. That's money that you got throughout the year. All right. Noah. Noah is single with a taxable income for last year. Noah is single. Aren't you single, Noah? Okay. All right, he has a taxable income last year of $54,982.98. Hey, guys. Hey guys, can we move on? All right, his employer withheld $12,875.93 in federal taxes. All right, part A, use the tax tables booklet to determine Noah's tax. So guys, go ahead and grab out your tax table booklet. Remember, we're using this a lot. All right, so Noah made $54,982.98. So go ahead and flip through your tax tables booklet and figure out. Yeah, Noah makes over $54,000 a year. That's pretty good money. All right, so guys, in your tax table booklets, we need to look up and see where Noah's income falls. So 54,982, and Noah is single. Good. Noah's tax should be $9,515. And again, that's just looking in your tax table booklet. I looked under the box that was $54,000. I went all the way down. I found underneath single to figure out how much his tax was. Does Noah get a refund? Yes. His employer withheld over $12,000. So does he get a refund? Yes. His tax is less than what his employer withheld. Okay, so the next part. Find the difference between Noah's tax and the amount withheld by his employer. So what do I do there? Subtract them. All right, so Noah's going to get a refund, $3,360.93. Yes, sir? Yeah. Yeah, because his employer's withheld over $12,000 for his taxes, but he really only owes $9,000 for taxes. So they held out too much. It is a nice check, and me personally, I like the refund. Other people are like, nah, I don't want the big refund at the end. I want more money in every paycheck. So it just kind of depends how you live your life, I guess. We go on vacation every year by our refund check. That's what we use for vacation. All right, here we go. Example 4. This one, we're going to refer to the 1040 Easy. So go ahead and grab that form I gave you guys. Make sure it says 1040 Easy, not the 1040A. All right, so Elizabeth Allison is a food editor for a magazine. She has received a W-2 form from her employer and a 1099 form from her savings bank. What is Elizabeth's taxable income for the year if she files as a single taxpayer? Now, in order to find her taxable income, we must fill out a tax form. And we will use the 1040 Easy. Okay, so I cannot answer her taxable income unless I fill out that actual tax form. Now, if it had asked me for her gross income, could you have figured that out? Yeah, her gross income, you could have just added how much she got paid here and her interest, and that would give you her gross. Okay, but it's asking for her taxable income. Okay, so we need to go to that form. That's what we're going to be filling out. So 1040 Easy. There we go. Now I can actually write in it. It's way too small. All right, so filling out some of these forms. Okay, we're going to kind of go through here step by step and fill out this tax form. Okay, so we're not really as much on the notes, filling out stuff on the notes, as we're going to be filling out the tax form together, okay? So first name, last name, what was her name? It was Elizabeth. Middle initial. We don't know it, so it's Elizabeth Allison. You may want to use her name on here just because that way you remember which one it actually went to. What example? All right. So filling out information. First thing that we need to fill out, wages, salaries, and tips. So look at the W-2 on the form. Do you see how much money she made? 83,600, right? So that, it says right on here, this should be in box 1. If you look at her W-2, in box 1, it gave you 83,600. All right, box or line number 2, taxable interest. If the total's over 1,500, you cannot use this form. What was her taxable interest? Look back at the original problem I gave you guys. It is. Yeah, the 1099 that she got the interest from her bank, that's taxable interest. It was 956. It says if it's over 1,500, I can't. So I'm only at 956. I'm okay. That is coming from, let's make sure we're okay on where this is coming from here. That was coming from right here. It was part of the original problem. This is her interest that she got. See, it says interest income. Yeah, her interest right there is 956. That was on her 1099 form. Okay. The W-2 was talking about how much filing has gone on up here, like how much her income was, Social Security, Medicare, all that stuff. Okay, here we go. All right, so line number 3, unemployment compensation, Alaska permanent funds dividends. Do we have anything for that? No. Nope, we're not from Alaska. I honestly don't know anything about it. I'd have to look that up. All right, line 4. Add lines 1, 2, and 3. This is your adjusted gross income. I think we can do that, right? Go ahead and add lines 1, 2, and 3. So you should get 84,556. Again, they try to make these forms dummy proof. They try so that it's easier to fill them out, but still sometimes they get a little tricky. All right, number 5. If someone can claim you or your spouse if a joint return as a dependent, check the applicable box below and enter the amount from the worksheet on the back. Okay, if no one can claim you, so we're assuming that she's a big girl, right? She's claiming herself. All right, so if no one can claim you, enter 10,350 if single, 20,700 if married filing jointly. So, was she single or married filing jointly? She was single. So, for her, we're going to write down 10,350. If someone else would be claiming you on the back side of this form, there's a whole little worksheet thing you can fill out to figure out what amount would go in here. All right, questions there? She's single, so that's what we're marking. All right, line 6, subtract line 5 from line 4. If line 5 is larger than line 4, enter 0. Okay, can I subtract line 5 from line 4? Yeah, I can subtract that. Okay, so you'll go ahead and subtract those. So 74,206. Okay, 7, federal income tax withheld from the W-2 and 1099 forms. Okay, so this is where we got to go back. Look in your notes. I got to kind of flip here. Can you see where the federal income tax was withheld? Right here? Do they withhold any on the 1099? No. See the box that's blank? Right here is where it should have been. They didn't withhold any from that. Okay, so I need to fill in my federal income tax withheld on that other one. Okay, so federal income tax withheld. 15,884. That was on the W-2 in box 2. Going back to your notes packet, the example that we're working on was in there. All right, 8A, earned income credit. Do we have anything about earned income credit in this example? No, we don't have anything. Yep, we don't have anything, so we don't have to worry about that. 9, add lines 7 and 8A. These are your total payments and credits. That's pretty easy to add. So 15,884. 8B, non-taxable combat pay election. I don't have anything like that. You would have it written on different forms and stuff. We don't have anything like that for this. All right, 10, tax. Use the amount on line 6 to find your tax in the tax table instructions. So go to your tax table booklet. We're looking at the amount on line 6. So look at line 6. 74,206. What you need to know? Okay. Where are we lost, guys? Right now I'm looking at use the amount on line 6. So my income on line 6 is 74,206. Yeah, we are going back to the tax table. So in my tax table booklet, look up 74,206 and see what my tax would be. Yes. Yeah, it should be 14,328. Yeah, because it's telling you to use line 6, that value right there. Look in your tax table booklet, tell me what it says. And again, she's single, so we have to look under the single column. That's how we're figuring out that tax value. Anybody else have questions on that? How we got that number? Coming from your tax table booklet. All right, 11, healthcare, individual responsibility. Do we have anything about healthcare for her? Nope, we don't have anything for healthcare. That's not necessarily her healthcare though. She doesn't have any forms that she paid extra into any other healthcare. 12, add lines 10 and 11. This is your total tax. Okay, easy to add. 14,328. All right, here we go. Too far. 13A, if line 9 is larger than line 12. Is 9 larger than 12? Yes, okay. Then this is your refund, okay? Subtract line 12 from line 9. All right, so we'll go ahead and take line 9, subtract line 12. And how much of a refund does she get? $1,556. Okay, now the other info underneath here is about like how to get your refund. You'd fill in your bank information and whatnot. The other option, let's say that did not work out, then you'd go down to box 14. If line 12 is larger than line 9, then you'd subtract, and that would be how much you owe. But she's actually going to get a refund. Questions on anything we just did? That's the 1040 easy. That's taxes. You can make a lot of money doing them for a living, though. All right, so that's the 1040 easy. Yep, sure is. See, I mean, honestly, if you guys can do that. Didn't we just do this? A lot of you guys can do this on your own. I do my own. All right, so that's the 1040 easy. All right, let's come back to the notes. It's great, isn't it? All right. Guys, the rest of these notes was me trying to take you through step by step, but we already just talked about all this stuff. So let's move on to the 1040A. It's another type of form that we're going to fill out. All right, guys, the 1040A has very similar requirements to the 1040 Easy. So it's got the restrictions on how much money you made. It's got the restrictions on like your interest, how much it is, all that good stuff. But this one allows for dependents. So if you have kids, then you could use the 1040A. Okay? Now, again, me personally, I can't use this form. Together, my husband and I, we make too much money to use this form. So we're over the income on this. It is a good problem to have. Yeah, so I can't use this form anymore. I used to when I was younger. I use the 1040. Yep. All right, example 5. Use the info below. So we're going to start filling out your 1040A. So again, we're going to kind of keep referring back to this. Kenya and Robin Omar are married with one child. Kenya is a pharmacist. Robin is a store manager. How many exemptions can Mr. and Mrs. Omar claim? So this is part of the 1040A form that I have given you guys. So if we're looking at this, look how it's been filled out on here. They are married, filing jointly. Okay, so you would check in that box. And they have one child. His name is Robert, so they filled that in. But their exemptions, they're claiming themselves and their spouse, right? You can fill this out on your 1040A. All right, and then if you look over here, boxes checked on 6A and 6B, they checked both. So themselves and their spouse, and then they have one child that gets claimed, so they actually have 3 that they can claim. So go ahead and let me flip to my form so I can fill it out with you guys. We're just filling in zeros for here. We don't need to know these people. Don't tell people your number. Stop it. All right. So guys, I want you to fill in the 1040A for these guys. So Kenya and Robin. All right, and then as you're looking at their filing status, how did they file? Married, filing jointly. And then their exemptions. Now, you can always click the yourself. It says, if someone can claim you as a dependent, do not check box 6A. If you're under 18, your parents can claim you as a dependent. Okay, so you'd have to check with your parents before you file your taxes if they claimed you. So if they claimed you, you can't claim yourself. Okay, and then they have the spouse. They're doing it together. And then they have a dependent. His name is Robert. All right, so again, filling out over here, let's kind of talk about this stuff. Boxes checked on 6A and 6B. So we checked 2. Number of children on 6C who lived with you, 1. But notice there are some other options here. Did not live with you due to divorce or separation, or dependents on 6C not entered above. So there's some other options there depending on what's going on in your family. And then add the numbers on the lines. It is 3. So they can do 3. What?
I got it, Joe. Nobody else did, but I got it.
I'm pretty sure Cole got that the first time. I don't know. All right, guys, come on. Let's just get through this, all right? All right, so 7, wages, salaries, tips, etc. Attach forms, the W-2 forms. So looking back at their forms, right? Their W-2 forms are shown. That's in your notes. They received $987 interest on bank deposits and $1,200 in stock dividends. So looking at this, that part of our 1040 is just looking for their wages, salaries, tips, etc. We need to add them together. Yep, I even circled them for you. See, I was trying to be nice. So yeah, this is how much money they made. That's what we're going to add together. Now, what did it talk to us about when we're using the forms? What can we do with our numbers? Round them to the nearest dollar. Okay. So we're going to add those two. That's their income. So let's add their incomes together. Yes. Yep. Nope, that's perfectly correct. So 117,200, and when we round it, it'd be 248. Be careful with that. Round it after you add them, because sometimes you'd round them both and then it would round incorrectly at the end. Okay. So that was we just added 2 incomes together, rounded to the nearest dollar. All right, 8A, taxable interest. Did they have anything with taxable interest? What did it say right above, right on the part of your notes that has the W-2s on it? Yep, $987 in interest. $987 in interest. It's right on the same part where their W-2s are. I just wrote it. I did not actually put like a 1099 on there. Yes, sir. I added their incomes together. Yeah, I added their incomes, and then I just rounded to the nearest dollar. And then their interest is right here. It was just written up top. I didn't put a 1099 on. I just told you it in words. Okay. Right there. All right, so the next part on there, it says tax exempt interest. Do we have anything that says their interest is tax exempt? No, it just says interest, so I don't have anything for that. All right, 9A, ordinary dividends. Do we have dividends? Yes, that's our stock dividends of $1,200. Yep, I'm literally going to write 1,200 right here. Again, they try to make these forms pretty straightforward. Okay. All right. 10, capital gain distributions. Do we have anything? They didn't say anything about that. All right. 11, IRA distributions. Did it say anything about IRA distributions? Nope. 12, pensions and annuities. Anything about pensions or annuities? Nope. Unemployment compensation, or that Alaska Permanent Fund dividends. And we need to look that up because I don't know what that is. 14, Social Security benefits. Nope. Add lines 7 through 14b. Not too bad. We do have to do a little bit of adding because it says add 7 through 14b. So add all of this up. Perfect. $119,435. Questions so far? This isn't so bad, is it? I'm sorry. Not right now. All right, guys. Adjusted gross income. Okay, that's a whole section. Does it talk to us anything about any of this stuff? No, but I do want you to take note of it, though. Look at what's on here. Educator expenses. I get to claim this every year. I'm a teacher. I spend my own money on things for the classroom. Yep, I keep receipts and stuff throughout the year. I can claim up to $250 every year. So I keep my receipts, things I buy for the classroom, stuff like that. I can go ahead and claim that. IRA deductions, if you put money away for your IRAs. Student loan interest deduction, I get that every year because I have student loans. So the interest that accumulates on my student loans every year, I can deduct that off of here as well. Tuition and fees, so if you go to school and you pay in tuition, you can deduct that. So those are your just adjustments that they're not going to pull taxes off of. Okay? So we don't have any of that though, right? Nothing. 0. All right, and then it says subtract line 20 from line 15. It's an easy math right there. $119,435. But it's really important come January, especially as you're in college and you're older and whatnot, you start getting all of these forms in the mail. They just randomly come to you in the mail. Don't throw them away, okay? Nothing's worse than you go to file your taxes, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. I threw that in the trash can. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we can. You want a brain break now? All right, hold on. All right, guys, let's go ahead and finish filling out the 1040A. All right, so we finished the front side, so now we need to flip to the back side of the form. This one is definitely longer, but it's not so bad though. I mean, it's still just fill out. We're just kind of reading as we're going. All right, so 22. Enter the amount from line 21. So where's your line 21? On the other side. Yep. So go ahead and fill it in. 119,435. 23A, check if you were born before January 2nd, 1952, or your spouse was born before then. Do we know this info? We're going to assume that that does not apply to them. Yes, we are. If you were married filing separately, how are they filing? Jointly, we don't have to worry about that. All right, so 24, enter your standard deduction. Now, you got to look over here to the side. All right, standard deduction for, look all the way down here. Which ones are they? Married filing jointly. So $12,600. Yep, $12,600. Subtract line 24 from line 22. Bless you. All right, so let's go ahead and subtract line 24 from line 22. Should get 106,835. $26,835. Yep. Tyler? Right here. Yeah, just you had to look and kind of see how you were filing. All right, 26, exemptions. Multiply 4,050 by the number on line 6D. So flip back to the front. What did you have on line 6D? 3. Okay, so it says to multiply 4,050 then by 3. Very good, 12,150. But you see how they try to make it pretty easy for you guys, where they tell you go from this box, the number from this box, the number from here. Like, it's just, yeah, it shouldn't be too terribly difficult. Noah?
I have a question. So I put money in my parents' shop. So do I have to put that in my tax form?
What do you mean you put money into the shop?
Like I buy stuff for the shop and sell stuff for the shop. Do I have to put anything in it?
Only if it's reported to the IRS. It's probably not. My guess is the way your business is run, it's probably not. All right, 27. Subtract line 26 from line 25. If line 26 is more than line 25, enter 0, but it's not. So subtract line 26 from line 25. So $94,685. This is your taxable income. Now, guys, I want you to notice, though, if you look back at line 7, look back at line 7 on that form for me. Line 7 had $117,000. That was their gross income. Look how much they're actually only being taxed on. $94,000. Okay? So, yeah, so that, like, as you kind of fill out these forms, you're not actually getting taxed at like 6.2% tax, right? You're not getting taxed on everything because, you know, there's deductions. They figure, you know, you got to take care of yourself and all this stuff, so they take that off of there. Okay, so where are we at? 28, tax, including any alternative minimum tax. So where do we find the tax info from? You got your booklet, right? Okay, so we're going to look up, this is our taxable income, right? They said it right there. That is your taxable income. Look in your tax booklet for $94,685, and they are married filing jointly. Very good. $15,211. Okay, so we went through everything that we had done up to this point was just figuring out what was taxable income, because you don't get taxed on everything. Okay, so then on 28, when it wants your tax, you have to go to your tax booklet, look up that amount, and find your tax. Okay. 29, excess advance premium tax credit repayment. No, you got anything with that. Some people pay their taxes in advance. I don't know. They got too much money, I guess. Yeah, then that's where all that comes in here. Exactly. I could figure out something to do with it. I could figure out a thing. All right. 30. Add lines 28 and 29. Right? So 15,000 to 11. 31. Credit for child and dependent care expenses. Do we have that? But do we have anything that they paid child care, all that? We don't have anything that shows that. But if we had a form, like they would have to have a tax form that would have gotten mailed to them that has the info on there for child care, you know. But maybe grandma or grandpa watched the kids, so they didn't pay anything. All right, credit for the elderly or disabled. Do we have that? No, we do not have that. Are you guys with me? 33, education credits. Nope, we don't have anything like that. This is all stuff that gets mailed to you in the mail come January. Don't throw that stuff away, okay? Retirement savings contributions credit. Nope, we don't have that. Nope, they'll all come in January. Because it's after the calendar year, and then they send you those forms. Child tax credit. Did we get a Schedule 8812? No. All right. 36. Add lines 31 through 35. I think we can add that pretty easy. 0. 37. Subtract line 36 from line 30. That's pretty easy. 15,000 to 11. I'm subtracting 0 from that. 38. Healthcare, individual responsibility. Did they buy any individually? Nope. 39. Add line 37 and 38. This is your total tax. Number 40, federal income tax withheld from forms W-2 and 1099. Very nice. Do you guys know where he got that from? Federal income tax withheld from forms W-2 and 1099. Do we have those forms? Yeah. So if you go back and look at this, here's their forms. Here's their income tax withheld, income tax withheld. So he just added them together. We're looking at, yep, since they're filing jointly, it's the two of them together. No, I haven't written. I'm flipping from a lot of screens here. All right, so 40, 14,965. I just want to make sure we're clear. Everybody okay where that came from the W-2 on the original problem? 41, 2016 estimated tax payments and amount applied from the 2015 return. It's nothing. Again, this is when people like pay them ahead of time, or they use like their last year's income tax return to like put forward on this year's. Like some people do weird things like that. 0. Yeah. Instead of like taking their return, they use it, yep, for the next year. It would be part of your return, like an overpayment. 42A, earned income credits. Not in this one. No, we didn't get that part. 43, additional child tax credit. Not in this example. 44, American Opportunity Credit. No. And net premium tax credit. Nope. All right, add lines, all of those. These are your total payments. Yeah, it's just that first box. 14,965. 47. If line 46 is more than line 39, so maybe I'll see my line 39. If line 46 is more than 39, 46, is that more than 39? No, it is not. Okay, so we will not have to worry about that box then, because then we have to jump down to amount you owe. Subtract line 46 from line 39, because they owe $15,211 in taxes, but they only paid $14,965. So how much do they owe? $246. That's not a terrible. Sometimes people don't pay enough and they get their tax returns filled out and they're like, oh, I owe $4,000. Yeah, like it happened. Have I ever owed? I've owed to state before, but never to federal. Yeah, you have to file your federal, this is federal taxes, and then you also have to do another return for your state taxes. For whatever reason, state is either I like owe a little bit or I like break even. I almost never get a refund from state. No?
So, what, I have a job, I'm going to have to file taxes. How much do I know that my employer is taking out to make sure I have enough?
You need to talk to your employer about that. You should have filled out some forms when you got the job. Should have. And you want to make sure that they're actually taking out taxes. You should be able to see on there. All right.